All right, so today I want to give you some information on some fraudulent activity that's been taking place in the freight broker world, in the trucking world. And I think it's in your best interest to be aware of it so that you can stop this kind of madness before it gets started, because I think it's a lot easier to stop it than it is to have to deal with what happens after it's already happened, right? So what I want you to know is that a lady in my network, she's a freight broker. She called me on last week and she told me that someone has stolen her MC number. And she broke it down and said that the person is representing himself as a part of her company, but she doesn't know who he is. And he's moving loads, doing the legwork, going out and get set up with shippers, moving loads with carriers, and sending those carriers her MC number. Now, of course, the carriers will invoice this young lady and expect her to pay them, but she hasn't moved any loads with those carriers. So now it's about getting down to the bottom of it to figure out who this person is, perhaps get the MC number canceled and restarting the business with another number, or she is contemplating using the MC after she gets a problem resolved, just keeping the same MC number. Let's talk about some of the first line of defense mechanisms we have in place to make sure that this kind of stuff does not occur. Make sure it doesn't get legs underneath it. First of all, between the broker and the carrier, there should always be a setup process. We should take a look at each other. And when we say setup, I'm gonna send you all of my setup documents, my paperwork, and you're gonna send me your documents. And we're gonna examine each other to make sure we are who we say we are. If you skip that process, you could find yourself in a situation where you might not get paid, right? If you're working with a fraudulent character, his whole idea is to abuse you, right? Abuse you financially. Make it so that you don't get paid. So if you don't do the proper analysis of looking over the documents, you're putting yourself in a really bad situation. Also, as a freight broker, your line of defense, and this is really important, is to make sure that you have a good surety bond. A lot of people just go out and get the cheapest surety bond, and that's really not a good idea. A surety bond company, a reputable surety bond company, knows how to handle claims. And as a freight broker, you are subject to claims. So you want a good surety bond provider that will go in and do the proper investigation before they pay a claim. Because if they pay a claim, then of course you have to pay that claim back as the broker. And also there's a possibility that your bond will be canceled. In this situation, the freight broker did not have to pay those invoices. And although that's good for the freight broker, it's not good for the carrier. Imagine driving hundreds of miles up and down the highway, doing the work, but not getting paid for the work. That's a problem. Which is why we want to make sure that we're doing a proper paperwork exchange, and we're looking at that paperwork, examining it, making sure we both are who we say we are. Because if it turns out that somebody is trying to pull a trick, you don't want to be the one that gets the trick pulled on you. And as it pertains to the freight broker, if it were me, I wouldn't want to move on with that same MC number, because I'm not sure if he hasn't sold it to someone else or how much further compromised that MC number might be. So in my opinion, it would be better to move on with a fresh, new MC number. Those of you who might not have a surety bond just yet, if you're still trying to make a decision on that, or maybe you're coming up for renewal, I'm going to leave my surety bond representative's contact information within the description box. Her name is Kimberley LIGHTCAP. She's a great surety bond representative. It's a person that's going to work hard for you, make sure you're not paying claims that you shouldn't be paying. They just know the surety bond business, and I would like to introduce you to them so that you can get the best surety bond representation that you can possibly get. Check out the comment section for her contact information and make sure that you let her know that I sent you. In the meantime, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you at the top of the mountain, because the bottom is much too crowded.